Hello, everyone. This is Rose. Today's topic from the Book of Life is lending money to a family member. Should one ask for a promissory repayment note when lending money to a family member? Let's talk about it. Raise your hand if you are a giver. Guilty. I'm a giver. But the thing about being a giver, it's not always monetary. That's the main reason that people label you as a giver, because they see you always coming to the financial need of someone that is in need. But that's not the only form of giving. Giving can be supporting a person psychologically, mentally. They having a breakdown, they going through something, they need to vent, and you give of yourself. You give of your time. You listen. You do not put them down. You do not judge them. You encourage them. You kind of help them to stay calm and not allow the situation that they're going through to cause them to be off balance in their way of thinking and who they are, and cause them to fall into a form of being depressed and sad. So you can give of your time just by supporting them. Of course, we know giving is giving money and gifts. And it can also be just extending grace to a person, giving them, because sometimes people go through some things and they take it out on the wrong person. They take it out on the people that's close to them, the one who would be the ear to hear what they have to say, the one who's going to encourage them and lift them up. And next thing you know, they're going off on you. And you just there to help them and just extending that grace. Just not allowing yourself to match their energy. That's a form of giving. So giving is, we know, definitely is more than just monetary, but that is the major form of which people define giving from one person to another. Now, the thing about family, a lot of times we feel compelled to give to family to help them out. Why? Because we share the same DNA. Sometimes it's difficult for the person who is the giver to give, but they do, because they may not have it like that to split, to take what they have and find a way to pull something out of it to give to the next person, but they find a way to do it when they see that that person is in need. But family, it's like when they see, there are times, I'm not putting this on everybody's family, but for the most part, from what I have observed, and even in my own family, when they see that someone is a giver, they want to take advantage of that person. It just through how they interact with that person, it shows that you are clearly saying that the giver is a weak person. The giver can be easily persuaded. You can always come with a sad story, and that giver is never going to tell you no. And even if you're lying, which most times you may be, in order to get what you want from that giver. Now, here's a scenario. Here's a story that has to involve my cousins from different mothers. I mean, cousins, I'm talking about two sets of mothers, my two aunts that I have, and their siblings. Okay, so we have this one set. This aunt has three kids. And as I say, the names are changed to protect the privacy. But Paul Paul is one who see that Grace, another cousin from another aunt named Grace, see that Grace is constantly coming to the aid of his mother. His mother is senior, lives in a senior facility, community, and she's in need a lot. She's in need for people to help her to get her prescription drugs, help her with food, help her with transportation, taking her to the doctor, and just seeing about her because she's very elderly. You know, I'm as I mentioned, being turning 67. But if she's my aunt, she's elderly. She's up there. She's in her late 80s. So Paul, he sees that cousin Grace is a generous giver to his mother because Grace, she's not questioning why her three children is not there to assist her to be able to give. She understands that everybody don't have it like that. People are working paycheck to paycheck trying to make ends meet. And things are tough. We don't always work and make money with other people in mind and what may happen in their life that may cause them to be in need of our money. We don't work with that type of intention. We kind of live according to our means of what we have. But because Grace is a business person, a business owner, she's able to give and she do it freely and she does not say anything to her three cousins about what she does for their mama. But Paul is very observing, as well as the other two siblings. But Paul is more observing. So he sees what Grace is doing. And next thing you know, as I stated, they look at the giver as easy, weak. And so he's trying to figure out how he can get in on being the receiver of a person that gives. So he started off with little requests from Grace. He asked Grace for gas money to get back and forth to work. And then it goes from gas money to asking Grace for money to get his car fixed. And the thing about Paul, every month his car is breaking down. To let him tell it. Every month he needs money to get his car fixed. And Grace just gives it without saying anything. Grace, she also, on occasions, has given to Paul's sister, Bebe. Bebe asks Grace for money to buy her kids' school shoes, as well as to get her husband uniform out of the cleaners. She's always asking for money. Oh, he has to go to work and he's the breadwinner of the household. And I'm sorry, we, need money. I have to put his uniforms in the cleaners because, I don't have a reliable iron and I don't have time to be ironing his clothes. So Grace never say anything, but you can always tell when a person is exaggerating. They go overboard with giving you a reason as to why they need your money. And the thing about it, they don't ask to borrow. They ask, can you help? Can you help get my husband clothes out of clean? Can you help buy my kids some shoes? Paul, can you help get my car fixed? I got to get to work. Now, Paul, oldest brother, Junior. The thing about Junior, he pretty much don't ask for much. The only time Junior comes to Grace is when he needs some cigarette money. He'll just say, hey, you got $5, you got $10, you got $20, because he'll straight up tell you he needs cigarette money. He ain't gonna lie about it. That's the one thing about Junior. He's not gonna come give you a bunch of BS. Yeah, I said it. A bunch of BS about what it is that he needs it for. He's going to tell you straight up, look, I need some cigarette money. I need to keep my nerves calm. These people are messing with me out here. And I need to keep myself calm. I need me some cigarette money. Or I'm going off on somebody. That's what Junior would say in a minute. And Grace does it. Grace just do it because she's just a giving heart. She just feel like she's been blessed. And when she see that people are in need, she just gives. And she gives freely to them. And that's fine. But you would think that Paul and his siblings would say, show her more grace, show her more appreciation for the fact that she's standing in there and she's giving to you guys, not just to your mama, not that she's just helping your mama and making sure she gets to her appointments and making sure she gets her medicine and making sure she's fed and making sure her house is clean. Not that should be enough. But she's doing all of that, and you can't even say thank you sometimes. You can't even show your appreciation by lifting up offer her by not coming to her every month for your own needs. Take your mama a loaf of bread over there every now and again. Take your mama, since she's getting your car fixed every month, take your mama to her doctor appointments. Take her to the grocery store. Show your gratitude to Grace by stepping in and doing for your mama what she is doing for her. That's a way of showing grace because now you're taking the load off of Grace and you showing that you're standing there and you're helping. But when Grace don't see that, then she's going to keep giving because that's who she is. Now, here's the thing about Cousin Paul. It's like he thinks that because he got it, Grace got it like that, that she's able to help him graduate now from getting his car work to saying, okay, well, I'm quite sure it's going to run out. Me keep asking for my car to get fixed. Why don't I don't just ask her about helping me to get a new car? So he goes to Grace and he tells Grace that he wants to purchase a new car and that he only has a little bit of money saved. And he wants to know if she'll help him with the down payment and not only help him with the down payment, but co-sign. Co-sign. That's crazy. You want her to co-sign and help you with the down payment with all she's doing. But I guess it's like somebody once told me when I was young, if you find a fool, bump his head. Because of my giving. I was like Grace. When I was young, I was just one of those person that gave. And this person who I was giving to, and I actually expressed to this person that you're gonna have to stop coming to me. I'm not your bank. I am not the bank of fools here. I give out of my heart. And when I told this person I'm not the bank of fools, they told me, well, when you find a fool, bump his head. And as long as the fool keep giving, then they the bank of fool. That woke me up. That woke me up quick. So you calling me the bank of fool. And I had to think about it. I thought about it and I said, dang, I put my foot in my own mouth because I am the bank of fool. And they straight out told me. So I stopped giving to them and they stopped coming to me. So that's what made me observe this situation with Paul and cousin Grace. Oh, now cousin Grace is starting to feel a little frustrated. I think after years of giving to Paul, mom, and his family, she finally put her thinking cap on the same way I did when that person told me if you find a fool, bump his head. Well, yeah, I put my thinking cap on. Now, Grace, she did hers a little later in life. She finally, after Paul came to her about the car deal, She finally put her thinking cap on. And she decided that she was tired of him and his family taking her for granted, seeing her generosity towards their mama as an implied contract to the family. It's like it's an implied contract saying that we can come to you anytime we want. You're going to give to us because you do it. You give to us. So Grace was trying to figure out how she can get away from giving to the siblings because she didn't mind helping her auntie out. She didn't mind. We grew up where we was close to our aunts and our uncles and stuff like that. And she didn't mind helping her auntie out. But when Paul came for this card thing, she didn't want to go there. So Grace know that I'm a mini her. I'm a giver. And she know that even in my young age, I was a hustler. I worked hard and I gave to my family members. So what she does is she direct Paul, sends him to me. She tells him, why don't you give cousin Rose a call? Give her a call and ask her to co-sign for you. She can help you better than I can in that area because of her profession. She's a finance person. Give her a call. Let her help you. Now, Paul, he took this information as though Grace handed him a doggone certificate of deposit guaranteeing him some money from me. That's the way he took it. Okay, Grace saying, hey, here, take this certificate of deposit. It has reached its term in maturity, and now you can cash it in because Grace she is being ready to be extended to you, not from me, but from cousin Rose. That's the way Paul took it. So Paul calls me up and he tells me that what Grace told him and that he needs for me to go with him down to the dealership because he got his eye on this car and he needs me to give him a few $1,000s down on it because he got about 1,000 in the bank himself and he needs for me to co-sign for him. And he tells me I've been on my job for a while. I don't have any problems with my credit that I know of. That's what he says, that he know of. And I'm thinking, okay, he think I'm boo-boo the fool. You know you need a co-signer, but you don't know if you have any credit problems. But you know you need a co-signer. I'm boo-boo the fool now. Okay, I'm thinking back on when I was called a fool, the bank of fool. So I tells Paul, I said, Paul, I said, I'm not going to co-sign for you a car. I'm sorry. I am not going to do that. I have done that one time in my own family with my own son, my oldest son, and that backfired on me. And I said I would never, ever co-sign for anybody else another car. Paul gets mad at me because of what I told him, and I'm saying I'm not going to do it. He cursed me out. Well, that was your son. And just because he didn't pay you back, don't mean I'm not going to pay you back. And, oh, so you ain't going to help me because of what he did? That was him. We two different people. But you still need a co-signer. So he cursed me out. I am so proud of myself. Let me tell you what I did. I just simply hung up. I blocked his number. I didn't let him take me there. Why should I curse him back out for something I'm not going to do and don't want to do when he's the one asking me. And then you curse me out. So I'm simply just going to remove myself, block your number, and let it go. I ain't got to talk to you no more. Okay? I don't have to see you no more. Okay? So that's what I did. Let me tell you what Paul did. He called my son, the one I told him that I helped before when he was getting started in life. And he had just finished graduating from trade school. He was working on a job with a corporation. And I'm not going to give too much details because I don't want to put my son on blast like that. But he was doing good on his job and he was making good money. And I could see that here he had his head in the right direction. He was doing, and I wanted to encourage him as his mother. And my way of encouraging him was when he needed a car to get to work, rather than have to catch the bus and be late a lot of times, he had saved up enough money to put a down payment on his car. He was doing good. His credit was not bad because he really didn't have any credit. He needed a co-signer because it was his first time establishing credit. So I co-signed for my son. I didn't even have to put any money down on his car. I just co-signed for him. And I made sure that he made his monthly payments. He stayed on his job. He was doing good. And he had a 4-year contract with his car note. The first 3 years, he was on it. He was making those monthly payments. He was still on his job doing good. And then when he got to that 4th year, he decided to get with his boys that he grew up with in high school, let them talk in his ear, start hanging out with them, going out to clubs. It's one thing to go out and celebrate on the weekend after a long week of working. But when you going out during the weekday because they don't have nothing to do, they don't have nothing going for themselves, and you want to show that you still a homie, you still one of the boys, and you want to go out during the weeknight and party with your friends, and then you can't get up from work on time. And then when you do go to work, you're making mistakes because you're tired. And now your job is seeing that something in you has changed and you making too many mistakes that's costing them money. So they let you go. And that last year that they let you go of your 4th year of paying that car note became your mama problem. You know why it became my problem? Because I work in finance. I can't allow my credit to become bad. I can't allow to be put in a position because when you work in finance, people check your credit. And so now I got to pay his card note for a whole year. Not only do I pay his card note, I got to pay the insurance on it for a whole year. And on top of that, when he was out with his boys, he was the one driving because they didn't have a car. So he's parking in places that he shouldn't be parking in. And now I got to pay $1,000 in fines, ticket fines, because of that. So it came back to hurt me. That's what I was talking about when I told Paul. So Paul calls this son and began to tell him about what I said to him, how he came to me because Grace told him to come to me, and she was supposed to, help me out because Grace was going to back me up and Grace was going to make sure she was good. And so that's why she's supposed to help me out. And now she ain't doing it. But I had a backup. Grace was my backup. So if I slipped up on anything, Grace was going to take care of it. That's not what he told me. That's not what Grace said to him. But he came to my son lying. So my son tells him, man, I'm sorry, cuz. I'm sorry that mom, didn't go through on it. But, my son thinking to himself, I'm glad she didn't. Because the reason why he was thinking he was glad I didn't, because guess what? Years later, my son comes to me. He calls me up to tell me what Paul said. And then after he tells me what Paul says, you won't believe this. He had the nerve to tell me about how He was in need of a new car, and he was looking at this car, this little small economy car for $14,000. Just something good enough. He said it was a used car. It was only 2 years old, and that he wanted it to get him back and forth to work because he was tired of sharing the minivan with his wife, because his wife needed the minivan for picking up the kids from school and going grocery shopping, whatever that she needed it for, dealing with the kids. And he was tired of having to have her drop him off at work and pick him up. So he wanted this small economy car. So he told me that he had been looking at this car. It's 14,000, and that he needed to know if I can lend him, or at least he did say lend him $10,000, because he got 5,000 in the bank, because he don't want no car note. He said, but if I get a car note, he said, if you can't lend me the 10,000, he said, then I'm gonna need to get a car note, and I need you to co-sign. Really? You haven't learned anything from your early mistakes? You haven't learned anything from what Paul just told you? And now you coming to ask me if I would co-sign? See, I think my son felt that I would say no to the co-signing, because he had already told me what Paul said, that I didn't want to do that anymore after I co-signed for him his first car. So I think he wanted me to go with the first request, lend him $10,000. And the reason why I think he wanted me to go with that request, because he proceeded to tell me that he will pay me back once his Bitcoin that he invested in pay off. He tells me he put a lot of investment into Bitcoins. I don't know nothing too much about Bitcoins. Yes, I do work in finances, but I'm not into that. I'm not into the Bitcoins. I don't want to get into that. No, I don't. So, and I'm not taking a promissory note from you. And not only that, not a written promissory note, but a verbal one that you're going to pay me back when that pays off. Because what you're saying to me is, if it don't pay it off, you're not getting your money back. No, if you can't give me green like I give you green, then no, I'm not the bank of fools. I learned something. Okay. I learned something when I was told that. So no, I'm not paying you back. I'm not the bank of fools. Or you're not paying me back. No, I'm not giving you no money. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, so he tells me this, and I tell him, I say, first of all, we had this discussion years ago when you was young. When you was 19, 20 years old. You was 19 when you bought your car. And when you got in trouble with your boys, you was 21. And I had to take over for you. So I said, I told you then I would never ever co-sign for anybody, anything ever again because of that. He said, well, I was 19 back then. I'm much more older and mature. I'm a married man, a father. I got a wife. I was immature back then. I say, son, you still in the same position. You still need a co-signer. Okay? How much mature have you gotten? Okay, I agree you got older. I see a little gray hair coming in your chin on your beard. But you still asking me to co-sign for you. So tell me, are you talking maturity in years, or are you talking maturity in wisdom? Because from what I see, you talking in years. Because you still need a co-signer. You had plenty of time to get your credit together. And I said, well, don't your wife have good credit? Ask your wife to co-sign. He said, well, she told me no. She told you no? Well, then she must don't mind taking you to work and picking you up if she told you no. Because guess what? I'm not co-signing for you either. I'm not. Sorry. I'm not doing it. Then he said, but what about the money? I gave you a guarantee? You can't let me 10,000? I'm like, what made them think I got it like that? I got 10,000 sitting in a bank waiting for them to come ask me for it. I got Boo Boo the Fool written across my forehead saying I got money to give. Don't you see? I'm from the Bank of Fools. So anytime you need a few $1,000s, come to this Bank of Fools. I got some money for you. Is that how I look? Is that what's written on my forehead? I don't think so. Makes you think I got it like that. I know that your mama is a person that do not go out and spend her money on frivolous things and a bunch of name brand thing. I ain't got nothing against people that's into name brand, but honey, if I can go over there to Walmart and get the same thing, or TJ Maxx or JC Penney or wherever, I'm good with that. I'm gonna put me a few coins aside so I don't have to go to nobody. Because the thing about me is, who do I go to? Who do I go to when I need $1? Who do I go to when my car break down? I can't go to these people that keep coming to me seeing the bank of food across my forehead. They can't give to me. So who do I go to? So because I put a couple of coins aside for a rainy day when I'm in need, don't think it's there for you. It's there for me. I don't mind feeding you if you need food. But I'm not going to go and get you something luxury, something that you're going to have to figure it out. Because, first of all, my son makes good money. This man makes good money. You hear me? You make more than your mama, but you coming to your mama. I'm not, I'm not the one. I'm sorry. I'm telling you no. Now my son's feelings is hurt. Now this would have never came about if it wasn't for Paul or from Grace, for Grace. So let me tell you what I did. As my son kept talking to me about it and trying to reason with me about these bitcoins and how much money it's going to make, and you should research it and you'll understand I could pay you back with these bitcoins. And maybe if he would have said, gave me a promissory note, because when I asked him about a promissory note saying he going to pay me back green dollar bills, the same green dollar bills I gave him, he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do that. But he wants me to take his verbal promise of some doggone bitcoins. So I said, you know what? Let me do to Grace. Now I'm not tit for tat. But this one time, I was going there. I said, let me do for Grace what she did for me. Because what bothered me is that Grace sent Paul my way and she didn't call me. She didn't talk to me. And when I tried to call her, it went straight to voicemail. I tried her 3 times and it went to voicemail. So, Grace, I'm sorry. When you call me about this one, I'm not going to be available. But I'm sending my son over to you with his promise, his verbal promissory note for his bitcoins, because he needs $10,000 to help him get a car. And since you're so generous with Paul and his siblings, maybe you'll be generous with my son as well. So I told my son, Junior, he's a junior too in our household. I said, Junior, go to Grace. She got you. She loves investing her money into things like that when she knows she's going to get a return. So go to Grace and talk to her. And that's where I sent him. And I'm like, God bless you all. But this bank of food has just closed down. I'm not lending out no money. I'm not co-signing for nobody. I'm not here to hear nobody's sad story. No. I'm good at using discernment. I know when you are in need and I know when you're lying to me. So and if I say no, it's not because my heart has hardened. It's because I know the difference. So I would say, if your family keep coming to you for money, yeah, treat them like it's a business contract. Treat it like it's a business contract. Make them sign a promissory note of repayment. Get it in writing. Have their signature on it. You sign it. Let them sign it as well. Because when they try to play you for a fool and you know they got money, they don't want to pay you back, sometimes you may have to take them to court. And you hate to do this with family, but sometimes you have to. I'm just saying, if you don't believe in that, then you ain't got to do it. That's just my opinion. What's yours? What do you think? Let me know. Help this sister out, because that's how I feel. This bank of food is closed. I'm tearing down. The building is closed. That kind of closed. I'm not building it back up again. I'm not doing it no more. That's it. I'm out, people. Click that subscribe button so you can get more notifications from the Book of Life. Peace. Be blessed. I'm out. Bye. See you next week.